Hey guys, in today's video we're gonna have a look at Pythagora, and at this point I'm just sick and tired of all those videos, the new cursor killer, the new windsurf killer. So in this video I'm gonna invite you to have a look at Pythagora together with me to see if it's any good or if it's just another glorified Y Combinator SaaS whatever project that just eats a lot of money and doesn't have real value behind it. So the reason for this video is because a few days ago I received this email, and no, I'm not affiliated with Pythagora, but I signed up for their waitlist a few months ago. I think it was in like October, I'm not sure. And as you can see, I received the first mail January 17th, but I must have missed it. And the second mail, basically the same content, is from Monday this week. So this is why I decided to make this video to see if Pythagora is any good. And if you click on the download the extension to get started button, you can see right away, I mean, it only has like 5 reviews, but it's only 2.5 stars. So, well, that's not really a good sign, I would say. So let me quickly hit the install button. Then I want to open this inside of VS Code. So I've already installed the application. All I need to do now is sign up. So let me quickly do this and then I'll be back. Okay, after signing up, this is what we see. Which describes you best? Well, definitely other coding noob, I would say. What would you like to use Pythagora for? Whatever, hobby project. And is there another option? Building my startup. How big is your company? Yeah, okay, no, I won't give you my data. It's just a hobby project, and we'll click continue. How do you want to use Pythagora? I guess we're just using the cloud for now. SSH key successfully generated at, well, my user folder. Okay, so installing Pythagora core, please wait. Is it okay for the extension GPT Pilot to configure SSH settings? I guess, yes. Downloading VS Code server. Okay, I guess this just takes a few seconds. Yes, I trust the authors. Okay, so it seems as if it's done. Okay, so we need a few things, apparently. I'm a little bit confused by the installation process, but well, I guess it realized that I've already installed Python. So here we are. So it says Pythagora V1 experience the future of software development. Well, yeah, I don't know about that, but surprise me. So what can we do? We can load an app, we can create a new app. So I guess we want to create a new application. And yeah, since it's only given us the option of building a Node.js application, I guess we'll go with this. And now we have to give Pythagora a bit of info about our project. So since I am building a image conversion app right now. Stay tuned for this. The video is going to be online at the end of February because, well, I probably need the whole month to build the application and also to debug it and just finish it, build the website and so on. What is the project name? Yeah, well, we'll just call it image converter, like so. Very creative. So let's hit send. Please describe the app you want to build. And here we need to enter a prompt, right? And as you can see here, we can click the button how to prompt. This will open a GitHub repo where it says how to write a good initial project description. Guidelines for writing a project description, focus on MVP, describe the minimum viable product, which are the essential set of features needed to launch your app. This helps define a clear starting point and facilitate iterative enhancements and features additions for the initial development phase. Yada, yada, yada. If you want, you can read through it. I will just use a prompt that I've prepared for this. So let me quickly grab it. So, and before I show you the prompt, I actually want to show you how I created it because I wanted to make sure that I use the correct prompt to make it as simple as possible for Pythagora to build the application, right? So as you can see, you have another button called example prompts, and here you can, well, choose different applications that you want to build. So you can choose a social media app. As you can see, this prompt is pretty long. You can choose a application tracking system. This prompt is pretty long. And the same goes for the AI startup. I mean, you get the idea, right? So what I did was that I grabbed the application tracking system, went back over to Cursor, and I asked agent to give him a example prompt. Literally, this is the prompt that I pasted. So let me make this a bit bigger because here you can see the documentation for the image converter app, right? So I created this with O3 Mini, and it's quite extensive. So I thought agent will probably be able to create a similar prompt for my image converter app that I can then give to Pythagora, right? And this is basically what it came up with. So let me quickly copy all of that, and then we'll head over here and paste it. Now, as you can see, it has a similar format as the other apps. It says this application is a powerful image conversion tool designed to provide both free tier and authenticated users with the ability to convert images between different formats. The application offers a modern, intuitive interface built with Next.js 15 and TypeScript, featuring real-time conversion status updates and seamless file handling. Then we have a main dashboard, we have the authentication system, we have the conversion process. So basically everything that we need to build in order to have our application up and running, right? I would say we'll hit send. So first of all, do you need authentication in your app? Yes. We do. Okay, so it's working. The agent is setting up the project. As you can see here, we have the server, we have the client, we have the different node modules. Okay, yeah, no, we don't want to do anything here. We can't start the application yet, obviously. So let's have a look. We have the client with the source folder. Okay, with just some boilerplate code as it seems. We have the footer, header, layout. Okay, yeah, I guess, well, it's just boilerplate code for the main website, I guess. Actually, this looks pretty decent. I mean, the overall project structure. So let's have a look. It still sets up the project. Okay, building the front end. This may take a couple of minutes. Okay, so I will get back to you once it's done. Meanwhile, maybe we can check out the settings. So as you can see here, you have a free trial of Pythagora. You can use all the features of Pythagora up to $2. After that, you can subscribe to one of our plans and continue using Pythagora. So I have absolutely no idea if we're going to be able to build the whole application, right? Because I don't know how many tokens Pythagora will eat. And well, I guess at some point it will just stop the generation process, but we'll see how far we can get. So you can upgrade, top up, you can supply an OpenAI and Anthropic key. We can log out, use Pythagora locally. Okay, so there's really nothing much to see. So let's go back. It's still building the front end. Okay, now it's doing something. Building the front end, running command cd client npm install. So it's basically installing all of the dependencies that we need in order to start the development server. We get an error where it says, what's the error? npm has some problems finding the file. Okay, so is the application running? Yes, it is. Oh, okay, so we have to open localhost for that. So let's quickly do this. Localhost, I think it was 5173, is that correct? Okay, yeah, there is something, and we get an error. Okay, so what's the error? Failed to resolve import React drop zone from source components. Does the file exist? Okay, so apparently there is an error because we haven't installed React drop zone. So I wonder if I can do this manually. Is this possible? So I'm in the workspace. Let me see. Let's go into image converter, and we probably need to go into the client. And I wonder, can I just do npm I react drop zone? What's the image react dash drop zone? So let's install this. Okay, yeah, that apparently worked. Now if we reload this, did this resolve the issue? I guess so. Okay, so this is pretty neat. So we don't have an account. Let's sign up. It's probably just dummy data. Okay, when I click sign up, I am redirected to the register page. When I try to create an account, I am redirected to the login page. Okay, can I sign in? I can sign in. Okay, great. But we don't see anything. The only thing that we can see is the blank home page. The question is, do we have any routes? Let me see. So we have pages. Dashboard, login, register. Okay, so that's basically all that we have. Let me see what Pythagora is suggesting. For example, I don't see anything. Do you want to change anything or report a bug? Keep in mind that currently only front end is implemented. Okay, continuing to build the UI may take a couple of minutes. Okay, so apparently there are some bugs detected, but I guess this was just the React drop zone bug. As you can see here, I've already fixed this. So, well, okay, no errors detected, but still we just see a blank page. So that's disappointing. You can see that we don't see any errors. Okay, so this is literally just boilerplate code, and we don't even see the usage metrics, conversion history. Okay, so apparently it has imported all of the files into the dashboard, but we can't see anything for whatever reason. Okay, so let's describe our problem. It says, I don't see anything when I open localhost, or nothing happens when I click on new project button. Okay, so the server is running and I can access localhost and port 5173. And I was able to log into the application, so I can access the register and login page. But once I log in, I only see a blank page saying home in the top left in the header, and I have the light and dark mode toggle. But other than that, I don't see anything. And we'll see what Pythagora comes up with. Well, this will probably take another couple of minutes or seconds, I don't know. So let's have a look at the logs. There's really nothing much going on. So it connected to a local MongoDB instance, which, well, is great, I guess. So we already have some kind of database integration, but other than that, well, the app is not really usable. But to be fair, you can't expect something like this. I mean, in Cursor is pretty good at reading between the lines, if that makes sense. So you give it a somewhat shallow or vague prompt, and Cursor somehow, I don't know how it does it, but somehow it understands you almost like a human. I mean, not always 100% of the time, right? But it's quite good at it. So let me see. Okay, now it says image converter in the top. What the fuck? Okay, so let's have a look at the this stuff here. Can we see anything? No, so we have a section. What the? Okay, it changed the the header. That's nice, I guess. Okay, let's try something different. Okay, yeah, you changed the header. This is nice, but well, I can't see any components. The page is blank. So for some reason, you import the different components into the dashboard, for example, and you import the dashboard to the app component, but I can't see anything. So could you please fix this? So we'll give Pythagora the benefit of the doubt. Okay, we'll give it one more try to see if it is able to make it work. But I wonder why that is, because indeed, it imports the components into the app.tsx file, and we have the main file. So we have the dashboard where we import the usage metrics, the converter component, and the conversion history. It detected some errors. What are the errors? Deprecated. Okay, something that has something. Ah, okay. No. Okay, well, at least we still have the front end. I mean, it probably looks a bit better on only 100% zoom, but we have a history. We have a convert tab. I mean, it's a pretty basic application, right? But, well, I guess it does its thing. So let me see. Can we import an image? Yeah, okay, so this worked. We can select different formats like PNG, JPEG, WebP, and GIF. I always don't know how to pronounce this, but we don't see a preview. Okay, I guess that's all right. For a first draft of the front end, that's all right. So I guess we'll head back over to Pythagora, and then we can click I'm done building the UI. So let's just do this. Are you sure you're done building the UI and want to start building the backend functionality now? Let's see, do we have all of the different buttons that we need? So we have a convert tab where we can select images and we can click convert. So what happens if we add multiple files? Does this work? So it says video 6, and if I choose video 9, okay, just replaces the images. Okay, maybe we can ask Pythagora to change this. So we'll click no, continue working on the UI. Let me check one more time. Let's choose 2 files. Oh, okay, so it was just my dumb ass. Okay. Apparently this works. Okay, so I guess we'll leave it at that. But if we refresh the page, the files are probably gone, right? Yes. Okay. So because we don't have a state management solution implemented, I guess we can ask Pythagora to add this one. Okay. Yeah. So the front end looks all right. I mean, I can add multiple files, but unfortunately, when I add multiple files or even just one file and I hit refresh, the files are gone, meaning we don't have proper state management. So could you please go ahead and change this, fix the issue, implement state management, whatever you want to call it. This is the last front end fix that we're going to do, right? And then we'll head back over to the back end because actually I don't know how many tokens I have left in this free trial, and I have not planned to pay any money to Pythagora, to be honest. One thing I like very much is the fact that it's using Zustand and not React context. So if you have a look at this, you can see cd into client and npm install Zustand, which is nice. This is also my go-to state management library, just because it's, well, easy is a subjective word, but I mean, it's easier than Redux, way easier. Is it done? Yes. Okay, so let me see. Now we can't see anything, which is unfortunate. Probably destroyed the front end. So let me see. Can we see something in the console? We don't get anything. Okay, great. Now let's choose 2 more, or let's choose 3 images. Okay, if I reload this, okay, unfortunate. So it implemented it implemented state management, but it didn't use the persist function. So let me check the actual store implementation. Maybe put that here. Okay, it uses persist, but for whatever reason, it doesn't work. Okay, yeah, well, I just go over to the backend because, as I've said, I don't know how many free tokens I have left, and I don't want this video to get too long. So let's click I'm done building with the front end. And I want to start to add the database. Okay, I guess we'll just click continue. Continue, since everything is running locally. This will, again, probably take a couple of minutes, so I'll get back to you once it's done. Okay, so I apparently had to do a bunch of stuff. So I had to spin up a local MongoDB instance, right, with the Mongo community version. So let me quickly show you. It's running here. And I also have to add the environment variables. Now, apparently this is running on localhost, so this should be correct. I absolutely have no idea what it means by JWT secret. So we'll leave that blank for now. And it also asked me to install Redis, but Redis is already running. Let me show you. So Redis is already running, Redis server. So for whatever reason, it can't find it. So I tried to click the button. I've installed Redis. So please enter refresh token secret. What is this? Okay, yeah. Is this from Redis? I have absolutely no idea what it means. What is the JWT secret? Refresh token. I just guess it's for authentication, but I'm not sure if I have specified that I want to use Clerk for authentication in the initial prompt. Probably not. So let me quickly see. Authentication. Oh, yes, I did. Clerk integration. Okay, yeah, well, we'll see. So apparently it started to create a development plan. Epic 1, implement user authentication system by updating the user model, removing mock data, and finalizing login register endpoints, creating tasks for this epic. Then we need to create this script to initialize the database with an admin user. Okay, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, it feels more like a developer companion. Can you say this? Because, well, it actually kind of works side by side with you, right? You still have to do things, but it informs you about the different steps that we need to take. So let me quickly check something. So we have a protected route. Okay, but this is not from Clerk. This is something in the components that it created automatically. Auth context. Okay, so this is from React. Okay, we'll see if it starts to implement Clerk authentication, develop the free tier management system with usage tracking and upgrade flow, creating tasks for this epic. Pythagora created a plan for the backend development. You can view and edit it in the progress tab on the top. Okay, apparently those are the 7 steps that we need to take. Implement user authentication system, create a script to initialize the database, implement image upload functionality, including secure file link and storage in AWS, develop the image conversion process using Sharp library, and implement job queue management with Bullet queue. So I mean, you have to give it that. It's way more advanced than Cursor and Windsurf when it comes to these things, because to be honest, I've built quite a few projects by now, and I've never seen Cursor being so detailed in its explanations. So there's a point that goes to Pythagora. Okay, so we can literally go through each and every point and adjust the tasks as we need. Okay, probably adds a new task. Yeah, add task. Okay, got it. I'm gonna try this. So I've changed this to implement Clerk user authentication system by updating the user model. But what we actually need to do is implement Clerk user authentication system by adding Clerk's auth provider and installing the necessary libraries and finalizing login register endpoints. Literally don't need task number 3 because we don't implement OAuth 2, right? So this is why we don't need the JWT secret and the refresh token. Create a script to initialize the database with an admin user and set up necessary configurations for the image conversion system. Okay, yeah, I also want to change this. Initialize the MongoDB database. Already running, what the fuck? Running on local host port 27017. Okay, so I probably make it worse, but we'll see what Pythagora will do with this. Create a script to initialize the admin user. So we really don't need to do this, but well, we'll just leave it at that. You know, we'll just leave everything as it is, and then we'll click on development, and now just click, I'm done editing the plan. And let's go. Remove mock data from authentication endpoints and implement real API requests for login and register functionality. This is actually not what okay, you know what, we'll edit the task and we'll say remove mock data from authentication endpoints and implement Clerk authentication by installing necessary dependencies and wrapping the application in the Clerk provider, and we'll do send. We definitely have to set up a project inside of Clerk dashboard. But first, I would like to see how Pythagora is handling this request, because this is something Cursor, Windsurf, and all the other AI coding tools I've worked with so far are always struggling with, right? They use outdated code snippets. They don't create the correct middleware. And by the way, I haven't specified that it should create a middleware file, so we'll see. We can see a bit of the thinking process here. And just by looking at it, well, again, it also uses outdated deprecated code. So the Clerk SDK node is deprecated. We need to update several files, create context, use context, Clerk provider. Okay, so this appears to be correct. Vite Clerk publishable. I'm not sure. Maybe Clerk SDK node is correct because we're working in Vite and not Next.js. So we'll see. I don't want to overcomplicate things. I will just click yes, looks good. It probably won't work anyway because, well, I still have to set up the Clerk project. And I will do this once we hit the first milestone, right? Once Pythagora says, okay, we're testing the application. Oh, look at that. It even goes ahead and said, okay, I need human intervention. Go to clerk.dev and create an account, create a new application. Okay, yeah, so I guess we'll just do this. So, but I mean, it's not clerk.dev, but clerk.com, but whatever. Okay, hopefully I can create another application. So we'll call it image converter. Email Google, I'm fine with this, create application. And we probably have to choose React. And I need this one here. So create a new application, get the publishable key and secret key from the dashboard, note down both keys for the next step. Okay, we'll paste that here. And we also need the secret key. Okay, so I guess I have to grab this manually. I will quickly do this and then I will get back to you. Okay, so I grabbed the key and stored it in .env. Can I run command cd client npm install clerk react? Yeah, sure. So this basically installs the package, right? So if we go back to overview and click on React, this is essentially what is happening here. It's installing the Clerk React package. And it also needs to install the Clerk SDK node. Is that correct? I think this one is deprecated after all, but we'll see about that. Okay, yeah, as you can see here, npm warn deprecated. Clerk SDK node January 10th, 2025 marks the end of support of this package as previously announced in October 2024. I mean, at this point, it's literally just waiting. So your Clerk publishable key. Okay, so I will quickly put the publishable key in the correct.env file. This is something I really don't like about these AI coding tools, right? I've already created the .env file with all of the important stuff. They just, well, delete it and recreate the file. Step 1, register a new user, log in with the registered users. Okay, so well, let's see if that works. We probably will be redirected to the login page, hopefully. Maybe not. Let's see. Doesn't work. Can I access the login page? Probably not. And the reason for that is that we also need to create a middleware file. No. Okay, so at this point, I probably have to do a little bit of debugging, and I will walk you through the solution once I'm done. Unfortunately, Pythagora wasn't able to make this work. I mean, you can see that I'm logged in, right? But I had to do this manually. So what Pythagora did was basically it kinda went through the setup process. So here's a quick walkthrough of what Pythagora actually did. So unfortunately, it went ahead and it wrapped the app.tsx file in the Clerk provider. And this is not correct because, well, if you have a look at the, unfortunately, we can't see it anymore because now we have one user, but you have to, in a Vite project or in a React project, you have to wrap the main.tsx file in the Clerk provider, as you can see here, right, in this way. So this part was correct. It literally imported the correct Clerk provider. It imported or created the publishable key as a environment variable. It checked if this is missing, and then it also added the publishable key as a prop to the Clerk provider. So this was correct, but unfortunately in the wrong file. Okay, so I mean, we have to give it the benefit of the doubt, right? No coding tool so far has done this successfully on the first try. I would say Pythagora is actually closest of them all because it has used the correct imports for the libraries from Clerk. And another thing that we had to do is, I also had to import all of the components here manually from Clerk React and add them to the header, right? Pythagora went ahead and did some weird stuff inside of the, where was it? I think it was inside of main.tsx. So it kind of switched the places where it had to install the different components, if that makes sense. I hope I was able to explain this understandably. I'm sorry, I don't even know if that is correct English anymore. Okay, so let's have a look at the application. Right now we have authentication. Now if I click sign out, I will be redirected to the login page. Unfortunately, if I use the sign in form, we can't sign in anymore because, well, this functionality doesn't exist anymore, right? So what we need to do is, and this is what Pythagora did correctly, we have to change the login manually so that we use Clerk's functionality, right? But again, I will do this off camera. I want to see if Pythagora is able to create all of the other features like the image conversion. This is way more important than the authentication process. So as you can see, I went ahead, I deleted all of the code from the cart content, and now we are left with this. I mean, it's not pretty, but it does its job. So if I click sign in, I will be redirected to Clerk's sign-in form. If I click continue with Google, I will be logged in, and then I will be redirected, hopefully, to the dashboard. So let me quickly check. I probably have to change something. Unfortunately, the thing happened that I didn't want to happen. As you can see, it says you're out of credit. Now, since I still have some credits left on my Anthropic dashboard from Claude 3.5 Sonnet, I will probably use this one. So let me quickly grab my API key and then we'll see if I can still make it work. Unfortunately, at this point, I just have to end the video because as you can see, it still says you're out of credit and I've tried multiple things to get it to work. I'm tried to supply my own OpenAI API key and Anthropic, and unfortunately, it won't use those keys because let me show you if I paste them here. As you can see, it says loading. You must put in both OpenAI and Anthropic API keys, and I've done this, but it doesn't add the keys to the config.json file. And I even went ahead and followed this tutorial here where it says using the Pythagora VS Code extension with your own API key. And I went through the tutorial. Essentially, what this tutorial explains is how to change the config.json file, how to clone the GitHub repo so that it can run locally. For that to work, you have to go into the settings and you have to click on use Pythagora locally. And as you can see, I click the button multiple times, but nothing happens. I also can't change the GPT Pilot path because this is part of the tutorial, right? You have to change this directory to your local Pythagora directory, but for some reason it doesn't work. I even went ahead, I reinstalled Pythagora multiple times. I tried it with a completely new account, a new Google account. It wouldn't work. And I reached out to the support, as you can see, where I explained the issue that I was able to use it for with my 600k free tokens. And unfortunately, I only received a general response where it says, okay, when you develop in the cloud, there's no GPT Pilot path. Yeah, this is all part of the tutorial. And to switch back to local, you have to click the button. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, it doesn't work. And at this point, I don't want to spend any more time on it. It started out pretty well. I mean, if you have a look at the app, it's quite good, right? I mean, we have proper project structure, we have all of the necessary files, the authentication works, and I would love to see how Pythagora would have handled the Redis implementation, because actually this is quite impressive. I don't know any other AI coding tool that is able to create such a detailed plan with the different steps you need to take, and then is also able to implement this without you telling it what to do, right? Because if you remember, we only gave it the initial prompt, and based on the prompt, it created the different steps that it needs to take in order to create the application. So yeah, it's too bad, but as I've said, I don't want to spend any more time because it's at this point, it's just annoying, right? It seems like as soon as you run out of the free tokens, some of the initial features of Pythagora are blocked. I mean, at first they were, but for some reason now I can't, as I've said, change to the local directory, even after reinstalling it multiple times. As I said, I mean, I don't want to repeat myself, but this is why I decided to end the video. I will still upload it because I think it's a somewhat great tool, right? If you are willing to pay money for it, because actually it's quite pricey. Let me show you. So if we head over to their website, and this is the only reason why I decided not to buy the subscription, right? Because $50 just to finish the video, it's a bit too pricey in my opinion. But again, just try it out, see for yourself. It's a lot of fun as long as it works, okay? And yeah, other than that, I hope you still gained a little bit of value from the video. And that being said, I see you in the next one.